Welcome back. I'm Tammy Arender and you're watching LA Rider. We'll go back to New Orleans in just a moment, but first I want to take you on a trip up north. You may not believe this, but there's actually a great frontier north of I-10 that provides some excellent riding, some rich history, especially in the area of aviation, and just some plain old good folks. It's Northeast Louisiana, and it's where I spent the first 18 years of my life. So join me, TW, and Bob as we go on a trip to the Delta region. As we travel Highway 65 north, we encounter some beautiful farmland. It's a two-lane road which features one of the state's biggest industries, farming. I always say if you like to eat or like to wear clothes, thank a farmer. I grew up on a farm in Madison Parish just south of Tallulah. Few people can find Tallulah on a map, and even fewer can spell it. But the history books can, and you're about to find out why. Geneva.
Hey.
How are you doing? You remember me?
I remember when you were a baby.
I know you do. It's been a long time since I've seen you, but I was so excited to be able to come back to Tallulah and take a look at the place. I know you've really got a lot of interesting things here that people don't know about Madison Parish and Tallulah.
This is where our tour begins. This is basically the history of Madison Parish, and it includes Conway Twitty, who was Harold Jenkins when he lived in Tallulah.
And he actually graduated from Tallulah High School here.
Yeah, we have an annual with his picture in it.
Geneva Williams gives a guided tour of the Hermione Museum. It's a fitting home for some of the people who made their mark in history from the Northeast Louisiana Parish, like Madam C.J. Walker. And she was the first female millionaire from Louisiana, right?
She's from Delta. She really invented the hot comb.
Oh.
And this is put together. This is the way they used to do it. This is a handle for a lid for an old wood stove.
Yeah, and that's how they
did it. And they took that off, and then they made this hand-done comb and put it on there and put it on this. You see, this little heater, and it hot. Well, it made it hot.
Tallulah was also a destination for this nation's 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt. The avid sportsman was determined to kill a black bear, so he and his hunting group pitched their tents in Tallulah and hunted along what he called the cane breaks of Bayou country. Now this is something else that a lot of people don't realize, that what our biggest airline today started as a crop dusting service.
Right. This experimental station was started in 1913 to eradicate the boll weevil that was eradicating the cotton crop.
The idea, which finally developed into the nation's largest air carrier, Delta Airlines, is said to have taken flight in Tallulah and nearby Monroe. Hello.
Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Oh, yes.
For Keith Powers, a full-time crop duster at Farm Air Service, it's a dream fulfilled to be able to continue the aviation tradition started at this very place. He also can walk a few hundred feet and see the original building, which housed Standard Oil Company, the only fuel stop between Dallas and Atlanta during the early days of airplanes. According to Tallulah historian Charles Michael Fennelson, that put Tallulah on the map.
Tallulah was a refueling point for the Army Air Corps, and Standard Oil had the refueling contract. If you look at some of the early pictures, you can see 20 or 30 U.S. Army Air Corps planes refueling here.
And if you're wondering just where Tallulah is on that map, Keith will give us a bird's eye view. The fertile farmland of Madison Parish hugs the mighty Mississippi River to the east, and Monroe is just 50 miles to the west, just down I-20. For Keith, this view is commonplace as he spends his days tickling the tops of the crops with his landing gear. I agree, that's a breathtaking view, but I'll trade the wings for the Road King and ride through this little piece of Louisiana I call home. My sincere thanks to Greg Robichaud, the rentals manager at Harley-Davidson of Baton Rouge, for that fine Road King Classic I got to ride to North Louisiana. Next week, we're going to take that Road King Classic even farther north and visit West Carroll Parish, where we'll visit the Fisk Theater and also see Elvis. I'm Tammy Arender. We'll be back with more from New Orleans in just a moment.